Good morning, flight simmers. Join us today as we do a quick flight from Halifax to St. John's, Newfoundland, as we test out the new and exciting iniBuilds a310 Airbus. We are on the ground here in Halifax with the aircraft. I also do want to let you know that I did download the enhanced graphics as well off of the marketplace. So this is using the 4K textures and everything else that is available. I also did find a GSX Pro file I downloaded off of flightsim.to. I will drop the description in the link as well at one point. However, there is still no SimBrief integration with GSX, unfortunately, as GSX can't read the aircraft type. Now, the reason for that is how Microsoft does their encryption on their files. So there is no aircraft.cfg file. So not only can not only can GSX not read the aircraft type, the streaming software can't either. I actually had to modify the streaming type, the way the stream does its things to be able to get the aircraft type up here. I'll show you what it looks like when it tries to read it from the CFG file. So just save. So this is what it looks like when it tries to read it from the CFG file. It just gives a very long-winded, I have no idea what that is. So that's just due to Microsoft encrypting their CFG files. I did message iniBuilds about this on Discord. We'll see what they say. I'm hoping that they come back with a good news letting us know that it is something that might be able to be fixed. They have been very, very, very quick in the replies. I've been very impressed with them. That's fantastic news as well regarding that. So I'm hoping to hear back with good news as well from them about this. So looking at the outside of the aircraft, I would say it looks fantastic. The texturing is really, 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 really good. I did own the A310 in X-Plane as well. So this looks way better than what it looked like in X-Plane with the PBR texturing and everything. And I love how dirty this aircraft specifically is right now. Now, I did download these liveries off of the iniBuilds' website. Manager, iniManager. But what I'll do is let's get into the cockpit and take a look at what it looks like in here. And I'll also check Discord real quick to see if they replied. Alright, so the reply is that they're already looking into this. Gambi says they're looking into this to see how they're going to fix it, so that's great news from iniBuilds. They're on Discord. They've been so good at replying to people and getting information out real quick. Like yesterday, I had a couple issues with setting up the my hardware controls. Like I couldn't find some LVAR commands to put in Spad so I can get my hardware set up, and I just messaged them on there, and they're like, oh yeah, here you go. So they've been really, really, really good with that. So that's great to hear. So I'll message them thanking them. All right, so I have replied to them just thanking them. They've been very, very, very quick in their responses, so I just wanted to give them a thank you. So let's take a quick look around this cockpit. So first of all, this is the EFB. It is pretty rudimentary, but it does the job. I'm okay with how it works. Even if it's super rudimentary, I mean, I don't mind it. You can adjust the brightness, you can switch it off, switch it on. It also has the settings in your aircraft if you want to start on cold and dark, on GPU and APU, ready for takeoff. You got all your plugins as well in here, like if you're gonna get your external units from the jetway or is the GPU and all that. Also all of your door controls. Then you got your checklists. So you have your normal checklist, and then yeah, just your normal checklist. This is the shortened checklist as well. Then we got our takeoff calculator. Now, unfortunately, the takeoff calculator, it doesn't import automatically your weight data and everything and your METAR in. You got to do that yourself, which it's kind of a drawback, but I'm sure they'll get that fixed over. And then you can also put in what your weights are, what your payloads are, and what you want to get as well. So we're going to be doing all of that, of course. And then last but not least, you got your settings. So I have it set to realistic iris alignment for the units. I don't like how they have all the units connected. In Canada, for example, we do use feet and we use the inches of mercury for our barometer, but we use kilograms for weights for aircrafts. Most of the airlines here are on kilograms, so I'm not too sure why they linked it all like that. I don't like that. It makes it a little bit confusing that, you know, everything has to be in pounds, feet, and inches of mercury when your aircraft's going to be in kilograms, because that's what it is here. But then you go down, I do have my nose wheel steering on, I've linked my instruments, and another thing you need to do as well is you need to calibrate your throttles. Now, I don't have a reverse axis on my throttle, so I said no to that, but then I also calibrated the thrust levers themselves, and you also got your audio settings. Of course, I increased my engine sounds, because those are the most exciting. Alright, so let's get back to the aircraft itself and look around the cockpit. Now, like I said, I did download the 4K textures one, so all the textures look really good. The aircraft looks fantastic when you look at everything, really. Just like, even if you move in up close, you got all the details. It just looks good. I mean, you got some nice wear. These are old planes after all. They've been flying since the 90s and 80s, I think. So I'm very happy with how the interior of the aircraft looks, and the virtual cockpit just looks really good. Oh. So it says here we lost our server connection. Now, that's been happening a lot. A lot of people have been using the server, losing server connections just because the Microsoft servers are overloaded right now, which apparently affects your FPS, because my FPS just dropped. So let's see if we can go into settings and switch servers. Into data. Alright, so our online functionality is on. So we should be able to reach them. We should be able to connect again, but this off and on has been causing a lot of issues for people, and it actually did cause me an FPS drop. So maybe we need internet to fly. We need to be connected to one of the servers to fly this aircraft. For now, though, I can keep giving you a review until we get an internet connection again. I just wanted to say as well hi to the people watching. I see that we got a couple people watching, and I see that Potato's asking to fly over the country. What country is yours? Maybe we could do a flight there one day. So for now, though, we'll keep looking around the aircraft and just all the details in the cockpit. So, you know, you got the fuses back here. Now, you can't interact with the fuses. But they're still there, which is great to see. And just looking around here, everything looks good. You can interact, of course, with this. I think you can move your seat. Oh, you can get rid of the yoke as well if you're trying to look under there. So it looks good. So now let's go back and look at the cabin. So this is the enhanced one that does have the cabin. So we can open the door. We can get back into the cabin. And it is going to be a little stuttery. I apologize. Once we get the connection again, it should go back to normal. I don't know why it's doing that. Potato says they're in Tunisia. Yeah, maybe I'll do a flight in Tunisia one day. Maybe do from Cairo to Tunis on historic flight on a A310 in a historic Egypt Air livery. Now, if we don't get our FPS again before we actually get going, I will probably I'll probably restart the sim and restart the flight and maybe switch to a different server. But here we are. This is what the cabin looks like. So we got it looks like 2, 3, 6, 12 business class seats. Obviously these are older aircraft, so they're not going to be the lie flats. And then you got the whole economy cabin right here, which you can walk all the way through. Now, I don't know if you can interact with stuff in here. No, you can't interact with things in here, but it's still a good looking cabin. It's pretty well modeled, I'd say. Definitely gonna make for some good screenshots out the windows. Now again, I apologize for the stutter. I'm hoping it comes back again, so we'll see. Now it says it's my GPU utilization at 99%, so you know what? This might be a good time to try DLSS. Never tried it, so we're learning and we're doing new things this flight. We're learning a new aircraft. We're gonna try DLSS. We're gonna try Alright, let's apply and save and see what that does for us. Well, it definitely lowered our GPU utilization. So we are in DLSS right now. And the GPU dropped from 98% being utilized to 60% now. So we'll see what it does for us. That's cool though, that it did such a drop. Oh yeah, look how smooth this is now. The GPU is not being overloaded anymore. Now I don't know if we'll still have the blurry textures in the cockpit. We'll see, but let's close this cockpit door and we can now start getting this aircraft ready to go. So first of all, let's get GSX to connect the jetway. Okay, now the jetway is connected and the door is open. It does do that automatically, which is cool. Let's look up at our overhead panel and get the aircraft set up. So we'll go through our checklist as well at the same time. Checklists right here. Now it says cockpit prep. So like I said, this is a shortened checklist. So I've already put the disclaimer in the video, but I'll say this as well. I am not a real pilot. I'm just a hobbyist. I've been playing since 2004. I try my best to simulate as realistically as possible. However, sometimes I will make mistakes and I won't simulate things accurately. If you do have knowledge about something that I'm not doing correctly, please drop your comment in the chat or in the comments for the video so I can learn. I've said this before and I'll say this again. We can only learn by sharing knowledge with each other. So I try my best to simulate as realistically as possible, but if I don't do that correctly, please, 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 please let me know and I'll try to fix it for the next time. But with all Airbus logic in this aircraft, of course, they had other lights, but they still tried to go for whites off. So first of all, let's get our external power on. Then we'll get our batteries on. We'll get the power to the galley going. We'll get the oxygen supply going, and we'll get the fuel pumps off and get the probe heats, well, window heats on. And we'll do the probe heats as well. That way, all white lights are extinguished. Next thing we'll do is we'll get our ILSs aligning. And we'll get the no smoking sign on. Moving on, we'll get into our weights and balances. So it is aligning the IRSs now, so we got to put in where we're going to and where we're coming from. So actually, we should be going into this one, SimBrief. It says, oh, I didn't put my SimBrief username in. I probably should have done that. So we'll see if it pulls the SimBrief. If it does not, oh, it did pull the SimBrief, so that's good. That's really, really good to see. So we're going from CYHZ to CYYT. We're going to click the Align IRS button. Our flight today is TSC 2456. We're flying an Air Transat aircraft. This is a fictional flight, of course. One, this plane doesn't really fly for Air Transat anymore, and two, they don't really have a route from Halifax to St. John's, but it's really bad weather here in Halifax, so I thought I'd do a flight from Halifax to see what the weather looks like. Next thing we need to do is find our cost index, and it shows it's going to be 80. Okay, yeah, 80. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's get in here and put in our number of passengers. So we have 130 passengers today. And cargo, we're taking 12,165 pounds of cargo, so 12.2. And fuel, we need 29,161 of fuel. So 29,161 would be 29.1. Alright, so it looks like we're getting the blurry effects on the screen with DLSS, so this might not be something we can actually fly with. 29.2. We'll take 29.6. So yeah, so this might not be something we'll be able to actually fly with because of the blurry textures on screen, but we'll see what ends up happening. And we'll see how it ends up being. Okay, so now that we have that in there, and the IRSs are in align mode, let's get the catering going. Oh, I didn't mean to click camera, I meant to click GSX. And we'll request catering.
Vehicles are on their way.
Okay, so we got our trucks have showed up for the food. Get the catering going. It is only an hour-and-a-half flight, but oh yes, we also need to get our nav lights on, of course, as we have power going to the aircraft. In the meantime, while that is happening, we will... what will we do? Ah, yes, we need to open the doors for the food. No, it doesn't automatically, so that's great to see. The aircraft will open the doors automatically, so you don't have to keep going in and out to open and close the doors for these guys. Now, as well, I don't think I mentioned this, we are at FSimStudios' Halifax Airport, and we are going to Simaddons' St. John's Airport. The scenery is pretty good. I love how it looks. The only thing is that when you do get inside, the windows are blurred like that, so you can't really take screenshots from the inside. I've noticed that a few of my sceneries. If you know a fix for this, let me know, or if it's just a scenery thing that cannot be fixed, then that's that. Okay, so we're back in the aircraft. While they load that up, we do have we have lots of fuel on board, so when we actually end up doing the fuel, they're going to end up taking fuel out of the aircraft. So we can start our APU. So APU master switch to on, APU start on. So that's that. Oh, what we didn't do is we didn't test. We did a test on our APU now, which is good. We'll do a test on engine 1 and engine 2. Alright, the fire tests are okay. Now we don't need to worry about the doors being open, that's okay, but the APU is starting up now. It does take a bit to get going. And the IRS is still aligning. Now, the reason I love this plane is that it's a mix of old school and new school. You got, your digital displays here, but everything else around it is still, the old school style. So your TCAS is around the aircraft right here, not on this screen. You got an old school vertical speed guidance. So there we go. The IRSs are now aligned, so that's good to see. And they have finished loading the catering, so we're going to request the refueling truck. But now that we have our IRSs aligned, we can switch on our pitch trim and yaw damper, which will also switch on our screens. Now, one thing I will do before I forget is I will get the lighting
truck is on its way.
On, because it's probably will be
until the fuel truck arrives and asked to do it.
Pretty dark once we start going through the clouds. There we go, nice and on. We got our navigation. So next thing we can do is we can actually go into the next page in here. It says our optimal flight cruise is 310. So you know what? We'll switch it to 310. Let's see if we can trust this aircraft. So we'll actually cruise at 310. But the next thing we need to do is we'll actually go in here into our flight plan, and we need to input our departures. So there's only one sit in Halifax, it's the Halifax port departure, and the winds right now are 210-25, gusting 35. So we'll be taking off runway 23. So we'll insert that. Now that's in here. So I know for this departure, 5,000 is the 5,000 feet is the initial climb altitude, and the heading is
Fuel truck is in position.
the heading is 233 on departure. There we go. So as the fuel truck is in position, so there they are setting up the fuel truck, plugging it in to the ground. So now that our APU is on, let's get this APU bleed going, get some fresh air through into the aircraft. There we go. So we're good to go there. Next page. So we know block fuel that we'll be taking with us 29.6 thousand of fuel, so we'll get that in there.
Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
Alright, it says to please use the aircraft refueling system. So we're going to apply. So it should. There we go. So it's already loaded up all the fuel and passengers and everything, which is the norm.
Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
Looks like we lost the internet again, so hopefully it comes back again so that we can get this plane going. What I'll do now is we'll go with that with the boarding is complete and everything. We'll just use the GSX for pushback right now. It is not working very well, so you know what, we'll just restart Kuato to get everything restarted. But what we'll do is we'll get our seatbelt signs on, everyone's on board, the fuel is on. We'll disconnect our external power as well. And now we can actually put our ZFW in. So our ZFW at the moment is 211.8. And let's see if the sim brief profile is also accurate. It says our ZFW should be 211.4, so it's close enough. You know, it's definitely close enough. And our center of gravity is 23.8. There we go. So we got all of that in. Next thing we need to do is we need to go into our performance page and input all of our performances. So we know that our gross weight is 241.3. So we're going to go in here and put that in before I forget. 241.3. Enter, and then we're just going to enter the airport. So the runway length is 10,500 feet. PM is at 233 degrees. It's not a dry surface, it's a wet surface, and the winds are, as per the METAR, 210 and 25. So 210, 25. Temperature outside is 17 degrees. And the altimeter is 2961. Enter 2961. So now we can calculate. So there we go. We got all of our data in here. So 57 degrees is our flex temp. So first of all, let's get our V1s in 135, 135, 135, 135. Our flex temp is 57 degrees, so that actually goes here. We're going to be doing a flex takeoff, so 57 degrees. And our V2 is 154, and that actually just goes in here. And we press this in because that is our preset for departure. There we go. So now we got all of this information in. The aircraft is set up. We got our predetermined altitude and all of that. So next thing we can do is of course we're going to be arming our ATS, which is our auto throttle. So these are these two switches up here. So I just did that on my physical hardware. And then we have our seatbelt signs on, our no smoking sign is on. What we can do now is we can actually disconnect the GPU. We can tell the jetway to leave. So the door is closed, jetway is leaving. So beacon light can come on. Fuel pumps are already on. Is now on. We are tuned into our frequency of 1228. Let's connect to vPilot. So we are actually TSC 2456 or type a310. Connect. We gotta file our flight plan. Now it looks like, oh, Halifax ground. There is someone online in Halifax, so we're actually called them to request our departure. CYHZ CYYT. So we'll file the flight plan. There we go. EPUs running, parking brakes on, seatbelt signs on. Let's look at our departure checklist. Signs on. We got our fuel quantities in. We've checked our navigation, landing elevation is not set. What is the landing elevation that we're going to? It's not in the temperature, it's in the pressurization panel, which I have no idea what that is. Pressurization panels here. Landing. Oh, well, pressure is on auto. We'll leave that there. Altimeters, they have not been set yet. It's 2968, 2961, so we'll set 2961. And I'll actually contact Moncton Center real quick just to get the clearance from them. 132. Oh, and one thing you definitely 100% need to do is you need to actually pull up the knob for and activate the knob for ATC, or else you won't be able to hear. So let's make sure that they can hear us. It's Moncton Center, Air Transat 2456 Heavy. How do you hear?
Transat 2456, sorry, I hear you 5x5, tell me.
Pretty 5x5, Jack. So good morning, Moncton Center. Air Transat 2456 requesting IFR to St. John's, please.
At Transat 2456, you're cleared to St. John's by the Halifax 4 departure. Flight plan route, department runway 23, squawk 3143.
Clear to St. John's, Halifax 4 departure, runway 23 and squawk 3143 for Air Transat 2456.
At Transat 2456, readback is correct. Push and start at your discretion. Call back to the information Charlie is correct.
Well, we have Charlie on board and we'll call back for taxi for Transat 2456. Thank you. Alright, so next thing we need to do is our squawk. Alright, so now that our squawk is set, next thing we need to do with this aircraft to get going is... I'm blanking right now. Beacon's on, ATS is going. We set our squawk. Oh yes, we have to request a pushback.
And transat to 366, stay with me. Transat 236, we leave airspace to the west. Montreal is off the line. Surveillance services are terminated. Frequency change is approved. Have a safe flight.
Frequency change approved. Sorry, we just had a bit of a stable internet problem, but thank you for sending so much.
Thank you. CSA 51, welcome back.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Hey Jack. Alright, so it shows that we need to face north.
Release parking brake.
Okay, so it's telling us now to release our parking brake, so let's do that then. We're going to release our parking brake.
All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Alright, and we'll get our TCAS going to TARA, so that TCAS knob is right here. So we'll flip that over to TARA. And we're now cleared to start the engines. So to start these engines, we switch over to crank A. We're going to start engine 2, so we press the start engine 2 button. Alright, our N2 is now live. Alright, N2 over 25, so we're going to switch our engine to fuel switch to idle. Alright, engine 2 on. We'll start engine 1. So we'll press the start on engine 1. Alright, N2 live on engine 1.
Set parking brake. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
N2 over 25, set engine 1, fuel cutoff switch to idle. And it's very windy, so as you can see the rain is moving, but let's get those wipers on.
425 Monkey Center, hello, squawk 3106, NetS, please. 3106, Lufthansa 425, you're at N5, level 370, welcome aboard.
Alright, we're going to confirm that we have a good engine start.
Unlocking gear.
There we go. So our engines have now stabilized. We can switch the switch back to ignition. We can switch off our APU bleed.
CSA 5-1, when ready, their custom lock and flight level approach and across them.
APU master switch to off. We need to set our flaps for takeoff.
68, when ready, their custom lock and flight level approach and across them.
Okay, 68, level 330, Mach decimal 78.
I've actually made it to
Bypass pin removed.
Ready?
Left is
Okay,
clear.
68, you're clear to one.
So-
By random route, 4C, 47 north, 50
What I did is I changed up my
47 north, 30 left,
aircraft configuration there so that we're doing flaps and slats 15-15. So that changed our V2 speeds a little bit. So we're just going to modify that. And weaved in. So now let's get the flaps set. 15-15. And while this is happening, let's do a flight control check. Flight controls. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full right. Full left. Neutral. Rudder full right. Full left. And neutral. Alright, so before we go, just so, because it's not going to be very flyable with all of the blurriness, I'm going to just change my settings back to TAA.
Okay, 68, self cross test.
Hopefully it's fine now. No, our GPU's gone up to its crazy usage again. But we can read our screens now, so it's either or. Alright, so it looks like we're just going to have to fly with blurry screens for now. This plane is heavy on the FPS from what I've heard, but this is like heavy.
CSA 5-1 is going to be flight level 360 if possible, Mach decimal 80.
And CSA 5-1, roger.
Oh no. Setting it on performance, you can't see anything on the screens.
And CSA 5-1, you're cleared to Prague via random route, Alry, 5-1 north, 50 west, 53 north, 40 left, 51 north, 30 left, 55 north, 20 left.
There we go, so setting it on DLA helps out. And we're just going to zoom in our screen a little bit because it's too zoomed out right now. Hey, I'm learning this plane with you as we're going.
50 west, 53 north, 40 west, 54 north, 30 west, 55 north, 20 west. Derek Resno from Alday, flight level 360, Mach decimal 80, and no time restriction, CSA 5-1.
1665.
And CSA 5-1, readback is correct. Do you have Falcon on board?
Affirmative. Charlie Sierra Echo Kilo.
Okay, there we go. So now we're just going to save.
Report received.
Alright, and let's contact now Moncton Center, let him know. Moncton Center, Transat 2456, heading ready, taxi 23.
Transat 2456, Moncton Center, runway 23, altimeter 295, diner, taxi for near 7, Golf, Foxtrot, approximately 14,
Apron discretion, Golf, Foxtrot, cross 14, lead west short of 23 for Transat 2456, heading. Alright, parking brake off, we'll get the taxi light on. taxi.
And Lufthansa 425, 20 minutes out of the cockpit approved, report back.
Okay, thank you.
The aircraft's definitely heavy to get moving, but this is a big plane. That's what the biggest thing you have to remember is this is a large aircraft. This is not a small plane by any means. Don't taxi too quickly though. Alright, and we've been told we can't cross 1-4, so we're good to go across here. So we're going to cross 1-4. There we go. So we're short of 2-3. So we're going to contact. Wow. 2 windsocks pointing at each other. Mirrored. That's a little bit of an error in the scenery there. So let's contact Moncton Center. Moncton Center, Transat 2456, short of 2-3. Ready to go. Clear for takeoff 2-3, and we'll call you when airborne for Transat 2456. Okay, so we've been given our clearance for takeoff, so we're going to go to landing lights on, strobes on. The approach path looks clear of traffic. Confirmed we are on runway 23. Alright. Toga set. Let's go. Let's jet. Through 100 knots, check. Alright. V1. Rotate. Alright. Alright, we're airborne. Gear up. Moncton Center, Transat 2456 airborne, climbing through 1,700, 5,000, Halifax for departure. Alright.
That's 24, picture at 5, turn left directly pass on course, climb, level 390.
Left, delect, class on course, climb flight level 390 for Transat 2456. So we're going to do ICTAS, insert, we're put nav mode on, autopilot on. Monkey Center, apologies. It seems the aircraft went right instead of left there for direct take test. Is that okay, or do you want us to go left? Copy, no worries about that. Next time I'll make sure to check the MFT before I press the direct to an LNAV. Very heavy on the frames. Alright, we're gonna get the profile on. There we go, so we've cleared the clouds. And now we have our speed going up as well. We did put profile mode on, which is like the VNAV in these. VNAV is profile mode is pretty much the VNAV in these aircrafts. They are pretty rudimentary systems, but they work. So we do have to switch over and climb mode. Slots 15, flap 0. Pretty nasty weather we're climbing and out and flying out of there. Slots 0. Right, there we go. So we got this set up. Now let's switch the weather radar on. It should be working in this aircraft, so we'll do that. We'll do this. And there we go. It does work. So we're going to increase the gain a little bit. There we go. So we're through 10,000. Landing lights off. We'll keep the passenger seatbelt sign on though. Oh, and actually we do need to tell Moncton Center Transat 2456. Apologies. Can we readjust our flight level to 310 from 390? Cruising altitude 310, will continue our climb to 310 for Transat 2456. Alright, so if you're just tuning in, welcome. We're taking the A310 for a test flight there from Halifax to St. John's. We were cleared for flight level 310, but we just asked the controllers to increase our altitude to 350 due to the weather. If you look here, the weather radar is showing lots of red in our path. It is decreasing though as we climb up right now through 3.4 and then get up to 3.5. If it's still there, we're also going to request to deviate. However, we are no longer within icing range, so what we'll do is we'll switch our anti-ice off. Alright, well there we go, where our TAT is no longer in icing range. However, looks like the red got even bigger at flight level 350. So we'll probably request 370 now. I can see the blue skies a little bit above us. So maybe we'll request up to 370 now to get away from it. Lockton Center, Transat 2456. It doesn't look like 350 helped. Can we go up to 370 please? Copy, climb into flight level 370. We'll let you know if that helps for Transat 2456. Alright, so we're gonna go. It's okay.
Montreal Center, West 603. Is that traffic currently traveling or else flying through? Because if so, I will climb to flight level 370 if I can get my flight through defended. Let's go through negative. You're going completely the opposite direction. Okay, thank you. We'll keep 340 for the time being, I believe.
Tell them you're Moncton. Be like for information. What was it? WestJet what?
Wow.
Now that we are getting, well, we're not getting close to St. John's yet, but what we'll do is we did briefly speak with the Moncton controller off of the frequency there, and I kind of asked him what we should be getting into St. John's. So I'll just get the arrivals in right now. We are taking a Brewing for arrival in ILS 16. And it's going to be the Pesdo transition, so we're just going to get that in. And we're in for arrival. And we're just going to insert that.
Transat 2456, no problem. The St. John, correction, descent to 10,10,000, St. John's, altimeter 3002.
Alright, so we got our descent clearance now, so when we're ready we're going to descend to 10,000, so what we can do is we can put that 10,000 in, and we'll pull the knob, and when we pull the knob it will go into descent, it will put the P descent to descent via profile. Now, it is a very rudimentary VNAV system, so most probably we will have to change to vertical speed so that the plane doesn't just dive, but for now we'll keep this on. And let's get the let's get the St. John's ATIS up as well. And now we do have to go into the route as well, make sure it's correct. And it's not, we actually just need to delete this. Well, we need to delete the vectors, I mean. We need to delete Almet, delete this pesto, and we can now delete the flight discontinued.
Good morning. Looking at this, you're South Direct Capital.
Alright, we've begun our descent now. As well. We're now descending through the cloud, and we are in icing conditions, so we're going to put on the anti-ice again. So we are going to be expecting ILS 16. We've already inputted the frequency for that using Navigraph, so the frequency is 110.7. That goes in the center right here.
The active runway is runway 11 in St. John. Are you looking at the RNAV Yankee or Zulu or the ILS?
Moncton Center, Air Transat 2456. We're actually looking at the ATIS right now there for St. John's, and it's looking like the winds are 15015. We'd like to request runway 16 if that's available, please. And we'll take the ILS for that as well.
That's 456. Runway 11 would be the preferred runway, not because of the winds, but because of the runway length. But I can give you 16 as well. That much. So you're going to take ILS runway 16?
Yeah, we'll go for 16. If we can't make it down, we'll switch over to 11. We'll on a go around if that's possible, please, for Air Transat 2456.
Transat 456, no problem. Are you able to direct test still at this time?
Yeah, we can go direct pesto for Transat 2456.
Transat 2456, Roger, clear direct test still.
Direct pesto for Transat 2456, thank you. Alright, so he's giving us the direct clearance. So we're going to go direct to pesto.
Delta 2442, you leave my airspace to the east. Gander Oceanic currently offline.
we're gonna get the seatbelt sign on. We have our de-icing on as we are going through these clouds, and the TAT is 8 degrees. It isn't icing. Oh, looks like we had a little bit of a wind shift there. What's new in FS 2020 other than these sudden wind shifts?
Say again, call sign. I know I see you on the radar there, 162, but say again your call sign.
Caledonian 162. Caledonian 162, Roger, London Center, good afternoon. Block 3150, no identity. Booking 3150, Caledonian 162. Transat 2456, it's in the 6,000.
Descend 6,000 for 2456. Alright, so we're gonna get our altitude down to 6,000. Alright, we're through 18,000. So let's get the altimeter in, which is 3002. And let's put in our, we're gonna go for medium auto brakes. Anti-skid is on. And we just have another wind shift as usual.
That 2456, St. John's 8 is up on 128 at full zero there in full alpha.
Copy, we have the ATIS here standby C until we grab it, and we have information alpha on board for Transat 2456, thank you. Alright, so it's 2 degrees in St. John's, very cold.
Delta, what's this gator okay, yeah, you're there, going to bump the door. Block 3123, no identity. Delta 867, you're identified at flight level 5,200 directed. Flight level 380, and you can proceed direct effort.
Alright, so let's pull our speed brake to slow us down so we can get down to our speeds. And we also need to, it says less drag. Okay, clear that.
United 2856, go ahead.
And we'll go for a, because of the winds, we'll take
No
a,
worries. Let me know when you're back.
we'll go for a 2020 approach, which means we have to make sure that we modify this as well so that we don't get de-ground. The MDA is 1653.
2456, cleared St. John Airport, ILS, runway 16 via the 10 still transition.
Cleared ILS 16 Pesto transition for Transat 2456. Okay, so we've been cleared for the ILS approach via the transition. So we're just going to keep descending. We've slowed down to our speeds now. I will switch off the weather radar. We will zoom in. Alright, landing lights can come on. Actually, we are going to control the speed ourselves because it's taking us down to approach speed already. I clicked the approach mode by mistake. It's way too soon for that, so we're actually going to go into 180. And now we've been cleared for the approach, so we can also decrease our altitude to our initial approach of 3,000. Get our flaps down. Flaps 15, slats 15 set. And now we're in level change mode to get us down to 3,000. Radar. Alright, so it looks like our vertical guidance for the ILS have come alive. Arm localizer mode. Okay, so we're in the clouds again, but we are on final approach now in. So we are at the initial approach fix of Pesto. We have been cleared for our ILS 16 approach. We haven't been cleared for landing yet, but we can descend to 3,000. And we can start following our vertical guidance down as well, our glide slope. So what we'll do is we'll keep slowing down, keep descending to the 3,000 we need to descend to. And once we make the right turn, we'll also go approach mode on as well. So we're still descending. The winds are 15015, so we do have a bit of a crosswind. It is pretty wet, but we'll get the medium. We have medium brakes on. And we should be making the right turn now. There we go. And we'll put approach mode on, so we should be catching the localizer now. This is a category 2 landing, so we'll also get autopilot 2 on. but let's wait until we make the turn. Localizer has been captured, so we'll let them know as well. Moncton Center, Transat 2456, establish localizer 16.
Transat 2456, St. John 170 at 15, clear to land runway 16.
Cleared land runway 16 for Transat 2456. Alright, so let's start getting our speed down as well. We'll go to the next set of flaps, which is 20 and 20, and that's going to be our landing flaps. We'll go to 160 knots now.
Banana 4051, altimeter 2957, 2957. Runway 23, taxi apron, your discretion. Golf Foxtrot, cross the runway 14.
Alright, and confirm our approach speed is going to be 145. So once we capture Clyde Slope, we will, and once we're 5 miles out, we will slow down to that. But for now, we're just going to keep using our speed brakes to get us slow enough and to capture the localizer. Capture the glide slope, I mean. Okay. We've captured localizer. Alright, so we can go landing gear down. And we can slow down to our speed now of 146. We're going to arm our speed brakes. Speed brakes armed, flaps, landing flaps set, landing gear is down, landing lights are on, and we are on the glide slope, and localizer is captured. This is a category 3 landing, so both of our autopilots are on as well.
Charlie 162, turn left heading 240 vectors for traffic.
So we can barely see the ground, but we'll see how we're going to get going. So what I will do now, though, is I will be disabling auto. Well,
Transat 722, you're identified as level 330.
Alright, I'm disabling the auto throttle now. I will take over the throttle myself. Looks like we are getting the runway in sight now. 400, keep going. We have the runway in sight. Autopilot off. All right. Okay. Touchdown. Reversers. Active. There we go.
Wind to Halifax 240 at 21 jet 31. That's no shot. Clear to take off over 23.
Alright, so we made it down on the ground in this weather. This is my first ever landing in the iniBuilds A310 period, not only in FS 2020 but just period. I've never landed this aircraft before. I've flown the A300 before, never got a chance to land it, had the plane ice up on me and crash. But for now, what we can do is we can switch off our anti-ice, our flaps can come up, our speed brakes can come up.
2456, welcome to St. John. I see you've already exited on Delta, no problem. Continue on Delta, cross, runway 02, and then continue on Foxtrot, and then the apron to the beginning of your trip.
Copy, continue on Delta, cross runway 02, then Foxtrot, and to the apron gate of our choice. Thank you so much for the service for Air Transat 2456.
Air Transat 2456, roger.
Alright, so we can get our APU going now. So APU master on. APU start on. We can switch off our auto throttle and our pitos and windshield heat. We need to put our brake fans on. Copy, so we've done that. Yeah. We're crossing 02 and then we're on to Foxtrot. And let's get GSX up as well.
At 425, you're clear of the traffic and continue flight by route.
Alright, we'll go direct Mallory. We'll start the first one.
Culinary 162, mainly department for 15 minutes of survey.
So it looks like, unfortunately, the gates are not correct because...
Super 44 November, squawk was 3137.
Well, because it's such is life when you don't have a what's it called? When you don't have a GSX profile yet. But we got ourselves a gate. This one right here, which is 6. We're going to pull into gate 6.
Again, 4051, you're identified.
Make sure that they're ready for us. Yeah, they're ready for us, so taxi lights off.
Cleared direct cat low on board, find the front level 312. November, you're identified at flight level 360.
Alright, so the stop lines are not accurate as well, so we're just going to stop here before we hit the engine on the jetway. Alright. Parking brake on.
Negative, you're going to be, yeah.
Engine 1 cut off. Engine 2 cut off.
Radar service terminated at this time. Switch to Unicom 122 late and you can start your descent.
Seatbelt signs off. APU bleed on. Beacon light can come off, and now we can request our jetway connection and deboarding.
7 contact off the center officer to 2134.7. See you.
Our yaw damper and trims can come off, fuel pumps can come off, TCAS can come off. Oh wait, I need the fuel pumps on for the APU. I forgot. APU. Yeah, the APU is running. So that's good. There you go. We made it to St. John's. It was very bad weather. I'd say it was a pretty good landing. My first ever time landing this aircraft. It looks like it's snowing here in St. John's actually. And there's the aircraft on the ground in St. John's. It looks pretty good. It's a good looking plane. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy all of our other videos and streams. If you do, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. We'll be getting lots of streams out and live streams going as well. I'll definitely be flying this aircraft more. I really did enjoy doing this flight today. I enjoyed flying this. It's finally great to have a very, very good long-haul aircraft in FS 2020. iniBuilds has identified the issue that's causing the GP utilization to shoot up and causing the frames to drop. They said they are working on it, so they did say that it should hopefully be fixed. When it comes on the next update cycle. They are in talks with with Microsoft regarding the issue. It has to do with the WASM module and it being in debug mode and not compiling properly. This may be an issue with the high quality textures, so I'm going to uninstall them and see if I get this problem. If I don't, then I'll switch off the LSS. If I do, then I'll download the high quality textures again and just use the LSS for this aircraft till it's fixed. For now though, again, I hope you enjoyed this video and we hope to see you again on this channel. Stay safe and enjoy your flying.